my name's Steven. I'm with Cannin.com, and we are back again for another biotech stock as promised. A deep dive this week into Axim Biotech. Let's jump over to the pricing chart now. You'll see in the fundamental that they do have a couple patents out for some interesting indications, gum, as well as some ophthalmic indications. And their pricing chart has had some bumps. We're looking at just recently in 2020, you'll see May, they had a nice jump from 14 cents up to 61 cents. They did lose some of that into the summertime, and then another nice pop, correlating a little bit with some of these earnings calls. But you can see we're currently down from there, trading at about 63 cents. This is AXIM on the OTC. We're looking at Bollinger Bands here as well. We've seen these a couple times. You can see how tight the neck is here coming into early May before this pop, and that's such a popular formation for the Bollinger Bands. You can see we're up above the upper boundary, the upper standard deviation, and we know by mathematics that that's going to bring the mean up, but also we're going to drop back down. It's inevitable. What comes up goes down. Then we tighten up, tight neck again, and then boom, another pop. And so you can kind of see what's happening now, a really tight neck. So we may watch for some of those volatility indicators to indicate that we're going to get that opening pop again from this chart. We're also looking at the Aroon, and I'll show you the Aroon settings so you can see we're looking at 14 length, and the Aroon Up is the orange line. So right into this neck, we actually had a cross on May 13th. The Aroon Up crossed the Aroon down. That's a buy signal. You can see that the first candle was actually on May 21st, so we were about a week early. And look at the Aroon Up. The orange line stayed above the blue line almost for a month, which is pretty interesting. Then the Aroon down took over during this period of slight downward pricing chart movement. And then another up cross on the 15th of July. And look, it correlates with the first candle of the pop. So interesting there. It stayed up until the 5th of August. So not as long, but pretty interesting. If you use just the Aroon Up and the Aroon down as your indicators, and you got in here, that would have been at 15 cents. And if you got out here, that would have been at 35 cents. So 300% gains there. That would have been pretty great. This one, we closed right around 53 cents. And if we would have gotten out on this indicator, it would have been 73 cents. So also almost 50% gains, also a nice pop. I want to show you the CCI because it's pretty interesting as well. CCI zone from positive 100 to negative 100 is shown in this. And look what happens right before we get the first pop on the Bollinger Bands. Excuse me, we get this nice pop in the CCI. And it goes really positive, well above 500, 641, and then comes back down and crosses back below 100 on the 4th of June. So you can actually use that as your entry and exit, or as your second indicator aligned with the Aroon. This is the signal to get out. This is the second signal to get out. Maybe you should get out. Then we get this other pop, again aligning on this first signal. So on the same day that the Aroon Up crosses the Aroon down, we get our cross over 100 here on the CCI. It stays above 100 until about the 27th of July, which would have captured all of that pop at about 82 cents, whereas the Aroon lasted a couple more days. So pretty interesting trends here on all three indicators on the last two big pops in the pricing chart. What are we seeing now? Well, we're seeing negative 62, so not very much movement on the CCI. The Aroon Up is over the Aroon down, but you can see there's no divergence. They're pretty parallel, pretty close to each other. That's what happens in these horizontal choppy markets. So what we're going to watch for is the CCI to pop, the Aroon Up to really gain some positive trajectory here, maybe even a divergence where the Aroon Up is going up and the Aroon down, the blue line is going down. When they're going the opposite ways, that's always an opportunity. And then that's going to predict another breaking of this neck, and it's going to really open up the Bollinger Bands and allow for a lot of price change movement in the positive direction. So interesting to learn from these last two pops with these three indicators, and it's teaching us what to watch for here in the next couple of days with Axim. So keep your eyes peeled. Thank you very much, and happy trading. We're going to continue on the biotech theme next week, so stay tuned for another one of the big biotech companies with some recent IP news.